If we could understand God, if we had holy eyes so that we could see holiness, we wouldn't have any questions at all. Everything happens by divine plan. Satan doesn't make anything happen. He's an angel. Everything happens according to God's plan. And God's plan is always perfect, and it's always for the good. If we could understand God, if we had holy eyes so that we could see holiness, we wouldn't have any questions at all. But God doesn't let us see. He wants us to figure it out. Because that way, we appreciate Him so much more. If we just saw it, we would get used to it. That's why it's so important, this ancient Jewish custom, to say, Baruch Hashem. Thank God. It sounds like such meaningless, simple words, but it's not. It's a whole approach to life when you say, thank God. Something happens, you say, thank God. What does that mean? It means I know who runs this world. I know there's a divine plan. I know there is justice in this world. I know that everything happens for the good. And therefore, when something happens, my response is, Baruch Hashem. Thank God. And before it happens, God willing. If it's in God's plan, then it will happen. God willing. Simple words, but so meaningful. Let's wish each other. Let's offer good wishes and blessings. We should all appreciate the beauty, the greatness, the holiness of life. Because if we don't, then we will not grieve the loss of life. The more we appreciate life, the more we reject death. We don't get used to it. We don't accept it. We don't become tolerant of it. We want to live. Choose life, God says. Which is why we say l'chaim, to life. Because we want life, we appreciate life, we see the beauty of it, the holiness of it. Even when we say mazel tov, it's not just an expression. It's full of meaning. It's full of life. So let's celebrate life. And let's celebrate our Jewish wisdom. We're forgetting, and that's a tragedy. We have the greatest wisdom in the world. There's nothing like the wisdom of Judaism. I mean, we see it now. Some people claim to believe in God, and as a result, they blow themselves up with others. Yeah. We need the wisdom of Judaism more than ever. We have become proud to be Jewish. Now we need to become proud of our Jewishness. Proud of our mitzvahs, proud of our customs, proud of our tradition and our heritage. It's the Torah that makes us great. Let's celebrate it. Let's do it. And let's do it with a passion and with joy and with appreciation and with wisdom. There is so much to learn. And it's so pleasant to do the learning. So I want to tell you that the fact that you're sitting here tonight, you're so humble, you probably think there's nothing special. That you're not special for being here tonight. But that's not true. I don't want it to go to your head, so I'll keep it short. The fact that you're sitting here tonight is the greatest miracle the world has ever seen. The fact that Jews are Jewish today 3,000 years after God spoke to us for the first and last time and said, "Be Jews." And we said, okay. We had no idea what we were in for. We had no idea that God would not talk to us again for 3,000 years. We had no idea that it was going to be 3,000 miserable years. We thought we'd be at the top of the world. No, we're not. 3,000 years has gone by since God asked us to be the Jewish people. And we've suffered. And we're Jewish. You stop and think about it even for a minute. This is not possible. It isn't possible. How can you still be Jewish 3,000 years later? And why would you want to be? What is wrong with you? Why do you call yourself a Jew, and why do you come running when you hear there's a Jewish program happening? What is with you? It's a miracle. You are so Jewish. You are so incredibly Jewish, and you don't even realize it. You don't even realize it. And you think, see, you ask the average Jew, do you consider yourself a good Jew? I'm not talking about political people. The average Jew. Stop the average Jew anywhere in the world and say, do you consider yourself a good Jew? Nobody is going to say yes. We're all lousy Jews. Because everybody will tell you, me, I'm a good Jew? Compared to my grandmother, I'm nothing. Compared to my grandfather from my mother's side, that was a tzaddik, I'm nothing. Everybody says that. Whether you are Orthodox, conservative, or Reform, everybody says the same thing. What, me, a good Jew? There used to be some good Jews now, not me. Now, that may be true, but it doesn't change the fact that we are unbelievably Jewish. There's a rabbi in Israel who did a class in Talmud. He's a brilliant man in all the sciences and in all of Torah. So all the professors come to the class. It's been going on for 15 years. But there was one professor who refused to come. He was invited, would not come to the class. One day the rabbi meets this professor at a party somewhere. And he says to him, how come you don't come to the class? All your colleagues come. They love it. It's interesting. It's in your building. Come, you'll enjoy. This professor says, I do not belong at a Talmud class. The rabbi says, why not? He says, because you and me, we have nothing in common. So the rabbi said, what are you saying? How can you say such a thing? He says, since the day I arrived in Israel, I eat pork on Shabbos. He came out of the war, he was upset. I eat pork every Shabbos. The rabbi said, only on Shabbos? He says, yeah, dafke on Shabbos, in spite. So the rabbi says, well, in that case, we do have something in common. He says, what? He said, we both celebrate Shabbos. I celebrate Shabbos in an old-fashioned way, and you celebrate Shabbos in an original. The professor started coming to the class. And he told his colleagues why he's coming to the class. He says, that rabbi is very smart. I heard what he said to me. It wasn't just a joke. You hear what he said to me? He said to me like this, why do you eat pork? Because you're angry at God for the Holocaust. So how do you get back at God? You do the most outrageous, un-Jewish thing you can think of. What is the most un-Jewish thing a person can think of? To eat pork. Because everybody knows a Jew doesn't eat pork. But it didn't feel like it was enough of a punishment. So you thought to yourself, how can I punish God a little more? So you thought, not on Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm going to eat pork on Shabbos. That feels more like a punishment. So the rabbi was basically saying to me, you think you're not Jewish? You think we have nothing in common? You don't belong at a Talmud class? Listen to yourself. First of all, you believe in God. Otherwise, who are you angry at? Secondly, you believe that God gave the Torah. Otherwise, how do you know you're not allowed to eat pork? Thirdly, you know that Shabbos is a special day for God. Otherwise, why is that a bigger punishment? So you believe in God, you believe in the Torah, you believe that God runs the world and should have stopped the Holocaust, and you believe that Shabbos is a holy day. Listen to yourself, you're Orthodox. One more mitzvah, you're ultra. He says, and here I thought I wasn't Jewish anymore. We are an incredible people. And it doesn't, you can tell others also. It won't do any harm. We are an incredible people. And we take no credit for it. The fact that a Jew today says, yes, I'm Jewish, for that he deserves every reward in the world. Every blessing in the world he has just earned himself. If after 3,000 miserable years of suffering, you say you're Jewish, you're a hero. And you don't even think so. You think, nah, I'm a lousy Jew. We are incredible. God got a real bargain when he picked us.
We have a Sunday night program for VIPs that you might be interested in. It's informal, it's questions and answers, it's conversation. It's really relaxed, it's really pleasant, enjoyable, informative, and kind of community-like. It's a Sunday night program. There's a Wednesday morning program for the VIPs, and there's a Wednesday night program. All of it just conversation, casual, laid back, unscripted. So join us, take a look, click the link below and see which of the three suits you best, and join us for some enjoyable conversation.